We'll call the Plan Commission meeting for Wednesday, July 17th to order. Can we have roll call, please?
Jason Carnahan.
Here.
Bill Van Wy.
Present.
Bill Hartman.
Here.
Sandy Harrison. Here. Tyler Lanning.
Here.
Frank Pulver.
Here.
Sherry Yoder. Suzanne Davis.
Here.
Angie Holt. Here. Jared Malcolm. Mike Makowicz. Alicia Rogers.
Here.
Andrew Cruz.
Here.
Chris Gallmer.
Here.
Meredith Wright. Here.
We'll now stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. I will now have a moment if Alicia will lead us in a word of prayer.
We could begin just a moment of silence in remembrance of Mr. Cruz. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to gather together this evening to meet with this purpose of business for planning and moving forward for the county. We just pray that you will guide us and lead our direction and lead our discussion. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
In your packets, we have the minutes from last month's meeting. If anybody has any comments or a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve minutes from last month's meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Minutes are approved. Same thing with the claims from last month in your packet. Comments, questions, concerns, or a motion?
I move to approve claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve our claims from last month. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Claims are approved. No old business, Chris? Nothing? Nope. New business. Did you want to talk about our comprehensive plan proposals?
And then I invite our consultant committee group to weigh in as well on this. We have two, so just so you all are aware, we had our consultant committee meet and review. We received six responses to our request for qualifications for the comprehensive plan rewrite. We had actually 7 received, but one of them did not submit paper copies, so per the RFQ, they weren't submitted. So I feel like that's a good number for us up here in this region to get 7 from various groups in Indiana as well as Ohio and Illinois. So we had then the group had the task to rate those 6 into their top 4. And then the top 4 we interviewed, and they did presentations for about an hour and 15 minutes. And then from that, the group requested proposals from our top 2. So that's what you have in front of you. Planning Next is out of Columbus, and HWC is out of Indianapolis. They also have offices in Fort Wayne. Skipping to the good part that you probably really just kind of want to know, which is what I flipped to, was the last page. It's the overall cost that we would be looking at. Planning Next was at $179,000, and HWC had a base fee of $112,500, plus a optional service, which we would need to do because we do the planning and zoning and building permits for the town of Corona. So that'd be an additional $7,500. So the group can also help me speak here. I think both were well received by the consultant selection committee. Both had very good presentations. Both seem to really grasp what we were looking for as far as redoing this comprehensive plan, understanding our needs and wants of how we should move forward with the various demographics that we were requesting as far as the renewable energies, the Amish population moving into DeKalb County, our natural resources, our agricultural farm ground, how we help or deal with the expansions of Auburn and Garrett and Butler and Ashley and Hamilton and Waterloo and. So there was a lot there to take in. Tonight, I will not be here to vote on a proposal, just to kind of present you, or if you have any questions for us. One thing that I enjoyed about HWC's, probably more than anyone, was their take on kind of jump-starting prior to even having our being under contract. So they would be under contract starting January 1st because of how budgets work through the next couple years. They were ready to jumpstart. If you look on page 3 of HWC's proposal, they have a little kind of handout that we could put at coffee shops or restaurants that kind of would get people excited for what DeKalb County would be doing for this comprehensive plan in 2024. They would create a website, have thoughts and ideas there to kind of kickstart us off and get people excited. Before that, I thought that was innovative and fun. Obviously, we would need to decide if we want steer our future is the brand. I think it's very Auburn-esque, and I think I don't know if we necessarily want to be just Auburn-esque, but I thought it was it was something that we didn't request from them that they brought to us, and I was like, that's a cool idea that I've never thought of before. So, anyway, if Sandy, Jerry's not here, obviously, Jason or Suzanne want to speak on either of these or the whole process, I would entertain your thoughts and comments as well.
Both companies were very good. And I liked both the presentations here. So it's hard to make a decision. The money is the breaking point.
Right. And I think that both would theoretically be up to negotiations as well. Mm-hmm. We did not negotiate any of these numbers yet. Mm-hmm. So I think that may be an option. I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, there were several of us, well, I think most of us liked Planning Next the best. We thought they were the best of all of them, but this was very close second. And just as their proposal is thicker, it's just, they seem to have a lot more detail. I mean, what they put in here was some very specific details about what they do, as opposed to maybe a little bit boilerplate type of verbiage in the other one. But, these were 1 and 2 on my list also. Yeah. So, and then the first thing I did when I got them is I flipped to the back right away, and I'm like, oh, no!
Me too, me too.
Why couldn't they be closer?
Yeah, that's exactly what my comment was, there's not that much difference in quality, but the price was kind of a lot different than I expected between the two. So I don't know, based on the details in one versus the other, I don't feel like the one is desperate to try to get the job, so it's coming in low. But I feel like both of them were quality. I think they were, maybe 1-2 or 1-3 on my list as well.
Yeah. And they're both looking to the same timeline-ish, both looking at probably 18 months to get this completed, which is good. I think we probably needs that wiggle room in there for any sort of hiccups or extra meetings that we would want to have, so. But it's really up to the Plan Commission to guide me to let them know who is at the top. Obviously, contracts would go through the county commissioners. So the Plan Commission kind of tells the county commissioners, here's who we want. Contract goes through the county commissioners. Money gets approved through county council. So there's kind of 2 additional stopping points. There's 3. There's us. We could say we're not going to do it. County council could say we're not going to appropriate the money. commissioners could say, we're not going to sign the contract. But I don't think any of that will happen.
How much money did you put in the budget for this? don't
I
recall.
requested $100,000.
For this year and 100,000 for next year.
That would be the goal. I mean, whatever we would take forward, I was prepared to send an email to Susan to reply to you guys that I only need 50, someone do the math for me, 112 plus 75 is 100, 120. Thank you. You know, we need $60,000 this year and $60,000 next year, or $80,000 this year and
So it's
whatever.
not all payment up front.
No, they would bill us with how they do the job.
Yeah, all the companies were fine with a two budget year.
Two budget years,
Yeah.
which would go better through the county and then what it would if we try to put all that money up front.
Right.
No, it was definitely 2 years.
So that's my question.
Okay.
Well, and as I read both proposals, I agree with Suzanne about the planning next. They were more detailed. So.
They also seem to, even in this, they put a lot of examples of the graphics. And I think that for our general public, having a lot of graphics is going to be important, whoever does it. Because it's tedious.
You don't want to read a book.
It's
You want
tedious
to
to just read about
yeah.
it, yeah. Show me a pie chart, show me other,
Yeah.
maps. But I would say I prefer planning next. But if everybody else agrees on the other one, I'm sure they'll do okay.
I have two questions. Was there anything besides the corona that, from a scoping perspective, that we needed to take into consideration, or have we covered all the elements in both of
HWC
them?
actually had St. Joe in there, which we do not do their planning and zoning, so I had them remove them, and Altona, which we don't do their planning and zoning either. So they can't be included in our comprehensive plan if we don't. Now, they could be mentioned as and they would be a stakeholder, but that was the only thing that was different. I don't believe they had anything in here about the other towns being part of the thing, but no.
Okay. And then from the council and commissioners' perspective on a budget, what they've sort of, at least a placeholder that they have right now, are there other costs outside of what was in these scopes that need to be considered in terms of meeting locations and rentals and refreshments, or I don't know what all comes with these types of things, and what's covered in these proposals versus what might not,
So
that the county would need to budget for?
The proposal itself is kind of just going to be, here's what we anticipate the cost to be. The contract would take into account what it is that would actually pay for. Typically, meeting spaces are going to be sought after by staff, through them, maybe. Refreshments and stuff, I don't know if that would have to come out of their budget, because I can't pay for that through
Right, no,
council budget. That's why you guys don't get cookies and coffee during your meetings, because I'm not paying for it.
I think they factored that into their outreach costs for these meetings and stuff, but I can't say that for sure, but the impression I got is they would do the hosting of the public meetings and.
Yeah, they
With our
definitely
guidance,
would
clearly,
be the face of the meetings with the help of whoever from the plan commission might be there and myself. But yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
When are we, we're not going to take a vote on it tonight, are we?
We are. We need to. I mean, we could, I guess, hold off until September if you wanted to.
We don't have an August meeting.
I wasn't planning to have an August meeting. We don't have anything docketed for Plan Commission for August.
Okay.
I don't have anything docketed for September either, but are you thinking you want to?
Well, I wasn't, I hate to say this, I wasn't prepared to vote. I mean, that's.
Well, yeah, that's what my comment was. I would be curious to hear what the non-committee members thought about if
I
you
looked at
them.
it, and since I hadn't had vocal from the the people talking, it takes me a little longer to process, you know, I'm a slow country kid. And
I understand that.
yeah, you know, I'm slow. But, you know, I didn't realize we were going to vote on it.
Well, I think we need to do something quicker, only because contract negotiations probably need to be done before December to make sure that we've got, with whoever we would choose, if we want some initial outreach, we need to be prepared to do that. So I think, contract negotiation can take a couple commissioner meetings probably. We'll probably sit on it for one and then come back and vote on it for the next. So I'd like to get it done tonight, but if you don't want to, that's fine too. If you want more time to look through, and I can send you guys the the RFQs that were sent out. But
How much was the different cost? I've only got the one. I never found the other one.
Oh. Here's
Yeah, I'm looking.
one.
One was included in town of
Here's
Corona,
this,
120,000. The
that.
second was 179,000.
79.
Well, that's the one I got. I didn't see.
Yeah, this
I didn't
is-
see that one.
This is HW, and it's 112 plus 75, 112.5 plus 75.
Is the selection committee making a formal recommendation to the larger plan commission?
I think we brought these two forward to your packet to hopefully
Yeah.
get some input, but I think we were kind of leaning towards the one, but then the price kind of makes you look
Sorta
a couple
shocked.
more times, but
Yeah. The
If
price
it-
was,
if you approve one or the other, who would be in a position to do a negotiation? Let's say hypothetically that you want to use the planning next. So you go to planning next and say, you know, we really like your package, we like everything that you've done, but we have HWC.
can keep
Who's
that.
going to do that?
You can keep that.
Thank you.
me, me, and then the contract negotiation would be done through the commissioners, Andrew, and I'll be there as a help, but that would all be done through the commissioners.
Okay.
And as far as both these go, the end package is going to be the same.
Theoretically, not exactly the same, but they're going to come out with a comprehensive plan. The approach might be a little different. The people doing it are obviously going to be different.
How it's done is.
I think we liked Planning Next's more conversational approach to at least our presentation with them. HWC was a little bit more formal. Planning Next was like, he sat down, he, was very conversational. It wasn't, here's our presentation and we are suit and tie and da-da-da. It was very.
Back and forth.
Yeah, very conversational.
yeah.
I think either of them would be open to negotiating the cost. I think if,
Especially when you have, that's a large amount.
yeah.
This is.
And if we started this process, not necessarily tonight, but if we started this process early and we said, hey, can we come down to something more middle ground on this price? And they said no, then we still have, another option to go to. It's not, I think the Planning Next is going to come out initially with more of the detail and a better looking product than with less effort from the whatever committee we have. And I think the HWC will be just fine, but if we want more and more detail, I think it's going to take more work from the committee along with the consultant, but that's not necessarily a bad thing either. But,
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
right.
Yeah.
Andrew, you were part of it. What do you think?
Well,
I know you were
yeah.
you were kind of there
Yeah.
as a legal advice guy, but
I agree that I think both, from what I saw, both companies would do a good job.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line there. I don't think either company would do a bad job on it. So then to some extent, it comes down to the price, and I'm not sure, I guess the commissioners and council will have to decide too a little bit there on whether the mild preference for planning next is worth the extra expense.
So how do you want to move forward?
Can we make a stipulation on what the price we would be comfortable with would be? If price is the thing holding us back from the one that it seems like the committee wants to lean towards, can we approve with a certain dollar amount in mind that that would close that gap to make us more comfortable? But that, since they're going to be a similar product, but we feel one maybe a little bit better, maybe we can
I think you could do a motion like that.
Make a move,
approve on a
yeah.
condition of, and maybe we can reattack with that company and say, if you can, whatever number everybody's comfortable with, of if you can get your price to 145,000 or something, then you're a little bit closer to the competitor. And
But
maybe
even
that-
at that,
maybe that
you
eases it some,
still
but-
have the county council that's going to have to say yay or nay. So,
And the commissioners.
and the commissioners.
And I'm always, if the product is equal or close to equal, I'm going to go with the money
absolutely.
every time. It's just who I am. Unless I see something that's a red flag that, hey, that's not going to work out, or that's not up to the job. But what I'm hearing is pretty close to equal. So I'll go with the money.
I'm comfortable going with HWC. I think they've done this for years. They know what they're doing.
Are you
Cheaper.
Price difference is pretty
Price
significant.
difference is
That's-
pretty
That's a
significant.
significant amount of money.
And like Chris said, we may be able to negotiate that even a tiny bit if we wanted to push it, if we wanted to try it. But I wouldn't think a lot, because they already came in fairly low from what I kind of expected.
I know you don't have the other, 6 or 7 or whatever they were. How was their prices compared?
We
to-
didn't ask, the RFQ was just qualifications based.
Okay,
It
so you
wasn't-
didn't have anything that,
We didn't have any cost associated with them.
What were you estimating that the cost might be from things you've seen in your experience prior to all this?
90 to 150.
Just say we
Okay,
talked.
so HWC came within that, and Planning Next did not come within your general estimate. Okay.
But when you look at the total cost from Planning Next, they have almost over 51,000 in just public engagement. For me, that's quite a bit in that category. Once you take all of public engagement out, you're at 107,000, well, 128,000 once you take the entire public engagement out. But even if you drop that by half, that's pretty significant. So,
Yeah, and we made sure that they understood that we were looking for a lot of public engagement.
I think
That the-
everyone that came
Yeah,
in
yeah, we-
understood their number had to include a lot of public
Public.
engagement.
Yeah, that's
That
what
was
we
made
missed
very
out
clear.
on before. But yeah, it's a pretty big cost. And I think probably part of that is, before I say that, is travel from Columbus.
Yeah.
And being from Indianapolis, they can come up here for the day and drive back home.
well, that's a different line item.
Is
That's
it?
farther down.
Yeah, travel.
Okay, my bad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, travel and then printing and production, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, never mind. Well, still, that's, I mean,
That's even more glaring.
yeah.
$51,000?
I tend to concur with Bill in terms of.
I do too.
I don't think that we're going to get next to where HWC is or close to it. I think we're looking for responses to be their best proposals, and to have to go back and we may lose something in taking out that amount of scope, and we want to reward those that come forward with the best effort and the best price right off the bat. And I don't know that I could explain, I don't know that more time with the paper proposals is going to give me any more insight. I really rely on the committee. They had the advantage of the presentations and the interviews, and I would be inclined, if you'll allow me, I would move to recommend HWC to the Commissioners, I don't know, their proposal.
And commissioners and council.
And council.
I
your-
second that.
Your motion was at the price that they have listed with no negotiations or whatever. That was, like Tyler
That
had
would be
talked
my
about it.
proposal, yeah, as submitted.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to move the proposal. We have a motion and a second to move the proposal forward from,
Do you want to say anything, Jared? So Jared can speak during this meeting because he's getting paid for it. So he can.
oh,
He knows that. He can say whatever he wants. I just.
Really?
Whatever I want. Well, keep it short.
I guess for me, you guys are saying here. If it's done right, but a more detailed one, is it gonna cause? I don't feel like there was as much difference in their request for qualifications response as there is in the thickness of their proposals. I think they were more comparable. And like I said, the interview part was, I mean, their presentation was pretty comparable as well. Their process, their strategy was all about the same. So I don't feel like there's a big drop off. Are there any more comments before we proceed to vote on the motion? Roll call.
Angie Holt,
Yes.
Frank Pulver,
Yes.
Bill Van Wy,
No.
Tyler Lanning,
Yes.
Sandy Harrison,
No.
Suzanne Davis,
No.
Bill Hartman.
Yes.
Is that 4-3?
Didn't have me on there.
He didn't say, yeah, he didn't say Jason.
Jason Carnahan.
Yes.
5-3. Okay. All right. We will move forward with that. Thank you.
And next on our agenda, there are two petitions for this evening. Chris, if you want to roll into that when you're ready.
Petition 24-19, a petition of Donna Griffiths and API Construction Corp. Requesting a replat of the replat of Layotto Business Park, Section 1, Lot 6. The purpose of the replat is to increase the acreage of Lot 6 by including approximately 4.5 acres to the south for a total of 7.085 acres. Property will be used for a construction trade office, and property is located at 6500 Merchants Drive, Layotto, and is zoned C2 Neighborhood Commercial. So in your packets, you got the application. The four members that are here that are on the plat committee go through this every month. So you guys here at the Plan Commission are seeing this, some of you maybe for the first time. But a replat, if you can look at your aerial map, shows existing Lot 6 and then the property to the south that they wish to add to Lot 6. The replat is in the replat of Layotto Business Park Lot 6. The minimum lot area required is 15,000 square feet. They have proposed 7.085 square feet. Minimum lot width required is 100 feet. They have proposed 670 feet. And the minimum lot frontage required is 80 feet. And they already have 60 feet as approved by the original plat of Layotto Business Park. So there's no additional lot frontage required. The division fronts Merchants Drive, and is considered a county local road with projected total right-of-way width of 60 feet, and the 30 feet was dedicated per the original plat of Layout Business Park, so no additional right-of-way is required. A replat, for those of you that don't know, just changes the outlines of a particular lot or a whole subdivision. That's what this is doing, is changing the outline of Lot 6. So it's not adding an additional buildable lot. It's not changing really kind of the intent of the plat, but just requesting that those lot lines be changed. You have a copy of the proposed plat in your packet as well as an 11 by 17. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to take them now, or the petitioner is here if you have any questions for them as well. Pretty straightforward. This is one of those things that if they meet the standards of the ordinance, which is what I read off in your staff report, the Plan Commission kind of has to approve this plat.
Are there any questions from the board for Chris or for the petitioner? Do you do the findings or does Andrew do the findings?
Andrew does the findings. I'm not reading all that. But you'll need to bring it up for public comment.
Oh, is there anyone from the public that would wish to speak for or against the petition on the docket? None, will close that part of the hearing. Andrew Cruz.
All right, so we have proposed findings that are not final until adopted by the Plan Commission or denied. Jurisdictional findings, number 1, application completed and filed on June 10th.
Yes.
Then we have legal notice published in the Star on July 5th and affidavit received.
Yes.
Certificate of mailing notices sent and receipts given to staff.
Yes.
Letter from the County Board of Health dated June 21st.
Yes.
Letter from the County Highway Department dated June 10th.
Yes.
Report from the DeKalb County Soil and Water Conservation District dated June 10th.
Yes.
Letter from the Drainage Board dated June 27th.
Yes.
Airport Board report is not applicable. The plat was prepared by Miller Land Surveying and received by your office, I assume? Yes. And the real estate to be developed is zoning district C2, which permits the requested development. Then we're going through the proposed findings, answering a couple of main questions. And again, these are just proposed and up for discussion. And anyone can discuss any part of these that they would like. There are proposed responses prepared by the zoning administrator, but again, those are just for thought-provoking thought starters, and you can make your own comments as needed. So I'll just ask the general question. Number 1, does the proposed replat adequately conform to the comprehensive plan?
Yes, it does. That has been zoned for industrial for 20 years, and it is I was going to say, but I can't think, but it is suitable for that area.
Did you say industrial?
Yeah, what's it?
Say commercial.
Commercial.
Okay.
Thank you.
But it's been zoned for 20 years that way.
It's been platted that way for about 20-some years.
So, and
Zoned since 2009, probably before that.
Does anyone have any other comments on it? Hearing none, I'll move to number 2. Does the minor subdivision conform to the following UDO standards? Letter A is minimum width, depth, and area of lot.
Yes, that was spelled out by Chris in the staff report.
All right. B, public way widths, grades, curves, and coordination of public ways with current and planned public ways, if applicable or required. That look all okay?
Yes.
All right. The extension of water, sewer, and other municipal services, if applicable or required.
You should probably at least read the proposed finding, just so they either can agree with it or not.
All right.
I mean, I know
We can do
these
that.
seem really like obvious, but we need to make sure that we're getting
Sure.
that into the record.
Good
Thank you.
point, good point.
So I'll go back. Yes, adequate access off of Merchants Drive. The right-of-way has been dedicated per the original plat layout Business Park. The existing driveway for Lot 6 will be utilized.
And what about the extension of water, sewer, and other municipal services? Go ahead, Jason, if you don't mind.
Yes. Yes, letter received from Leato Regional Sewer District states the Leato Regional Sewer District has reviewed the plans from the Engineering Resources, Inc. for a new API corporate office on Merchants Drive. The district has the capacity to serve this new development with sanitary sewer. The board has approved this new connection to the system.
And the allocation of areas to be used as public ways, parks and schools, public and semi-public building, home, businesses, and utilities, if applicable, are required. Were any required, Jason?
No, there's none required.
All right. So I'll flip to the back, and it says that staff is recommending approval to allow the minor subdivision, recommends the following conditions. Standard conditions to be recorded on or with the plat. Number one, this lot shall be included in any subdivision arising from any further development from the land involved. However, there is no intention that any terms, conditions, or restrictions on a future plat will have any retroactive applicability to this division of land. Number two, there shall be compliance with the laws and regulations of any federal, state, or local agency. Number three, no off-site drainage, existing surface water or existing tiled water drainage crossing over said real estate shall be obstructed by any development on the site. The Plan Commission may enforce these conditions by injunctive relief with attorney's fees. Number four, the appropriate agricultural covenants, drainage board covenants, and airport zone covenants shall be on the plat if required. Then there are four proposed conditions that will not be recorded but still must be met. Number one, comply with the staff report. Number two, comply with any applicable environmental standards as required in Article 5, 5.11, EN-01 in the Unified Development Ordinance. Number three, comply with the flood hazard area for DeKalb County Ordinance and any wetland laws and regulations if required. And number four, the plat shall not be recorded until the applicant files written evidence of compliance with any conditions of the DeKalb County Board of Health, Highway Department, Drainage Board, Surveyor, Airport Authority, and County Soil and Water Conservation District or other agency as applicable, and file written evidence of compliance with federal or state agencies where identified in the findings or conditions with the zoning administrator to determine when conditions have been met.
Is there any further discussion among the board on this petition? Seeing none, would entertain a motion to approve or deny petition 24-19 for this replat.
I move to approve petition 24-19.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of 24-19. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Angie Holt,
Yes.
Frank Pulver,
Yes.
Bill Van Wy,
Yes.
Tyler Lanning,
Yes.
Sandy Harrison,
Yes.
Suzanne Davis.
Yes.
Bill Hartman,
Yes.
Jason Carnahan.
Yes. Now move to 20.
Ready for the next one?
20. Yes.
All right, 24-20, petition of API Construction requesting a development plan for the construction of a trade office. Sorry, I'll reread that because I just messed it up. API Construction Corp. requesting a development plan for a construction trade office, including a new headquarters office and maintenance building, parking, and fenced-in laydown storage yard. Property is located at 6500 Merchants Drive in Leato and is zoned C2 Neighborhood Commercial. So with this, as you can see in the staff report, all that we have printed off is the site plan because the packets were so thick. Some of you may have gotten that in the email, but if any of you want paper copies of construction drawings, we do have them. They were in your email though, so hopefully you were able to review those. So the development plan, the purpose and intent, the Plan Commission considers development plans for any properties that are zoned commercial that are having a commercial development. With that, Section 2, in our C2 district permitted uses, a construction trade office is a permitted use. Article 2, Section 2.30. Basically, I'm just going to be going through sections of the UDO that this property complies with, and sections of the UDO that they would have to comply with. I'm not including everything in here. Some parts they don't have to comply with because of just what's in the UDO. But, so anyway, if you have any questions during this, please holler out. The minimum front yard setback is 35 feet. They have proposed 240 feet. Minimum side yard required is 15 feet. They have proposed 43 feet to the north and 250 feet to the south. Minimum rear yard setback required is 30 feet. They have proposed 130 feet. Maximum impervious surface, they have proposed 65% is what's allowed. They have 19.1% proposed. And the maximum height required or allowed is 35 feet. They have proposed 22 feet. Entrance drive standards are going to be utilizing and upgrading an existing driveway. Also, that driveway will be able to access Donna Griffith's property. That is kind of that paintball court to the rear. There is a easement that will be recorded on the plat that gives her access. Environmental standards, it will meet the standards. See the DeKalb County Soil Water Conservation District letter. They are working on their SWIP report, SWIP permit. We will not be able to issue permits until they do that. So they will have to comply with that. Fence and wall standards, they have a 6-foot tall chain link fence with rolling gates. You can see that on the site plan. The height standards meets the standards. See section 2.30 above and the architectural plans, the exterior elevations and roof plans on page A-2.0. Landscaping, parking lots, there are no trees required, but they have 2 proposed. There are 36 shrubs required, and they have 36 shrubs proposed. And you can see the L.10 site landscape plan for additional information if you want to know species or where they're going to be located. There are no buffer yards required, basically as long as they aren't up against any residential development, there are no buffer yards required. So that's why that's the way it is. The photometric plan meets the standards of our UDO. Outdoor storage, non-residential districts, there's a trash receptacle and dumpster, it meets the standards. Parking standards, they are required 9 total parking spaces and they have 12 proposed. And then additional parking will be available inside the gravel laydown yard. Setback standards, it meets the standards as I said in 2.30 above. Water and sewer standards, they will be connecting to the Layotto Regional Sewer District. As you heard during the plat, we did receive the letter from the sewer district stating that they will have the ability to connect to that. And water is supplied through the private well. It's just south of the parking lot. No signage plans were submitted, so a separate sign company will be submitting plans for any and all signage. And then other requirements as part of the development plan, letters from the utilities, we did receive those from the Layotto Sewer District, again stating they have the capacity to serve the new development with sanitary sewer, and the board has approved the new connection to the system. We have letters from the Layotto Fire Department and the DeKalb County Sheriff Department. And then, like I said, the erosion control plan, site construction erosion control plan has been included, and the Rule 5 application has been submitted to the Soil Water Conservation District. If you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to take them. Aaron is here from API, and I'm sure he has something he'd like to share, maybe, I don't know. But if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to take them, or President, you can invite Aaron up and he can
Do we have any
speak.
discussion from the board before the petitioner comes forward? And I would invite the petitioner to come up and state your name and address for the record.
Hey, Aaron.
It has a blue light on.
Yeah, sorry. Getting yelled at by all of us to make sure that blue light's on. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Aaron Leibarger with API Construction. Yeah, we've worked with the Drainage Board, Chris, kind of in the pre-planning stages. This goes back probably 3-4 months ago. So put a lot of time and effort into this, put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears personally as far as considering locations, considering...
Aaron, can you just speak on where you are now versus
Yep.
why you think you chose DeKalb or versus staying in Noble. I think it's interesting that you're just right over the line and
Yeah, well, so going back around the first of the year, I did consider 4 different site locations, and this kind of occurred or came through the recent tax abatement pieces that happened last week. So I was considering 4 different sites. If you include where we're at, that's a fifth site. I don't own that site. That site needs to be enhanced. I want to enhance that. It became not an option to enhance it. So I've got to run the business, and I had a consultant out of Indianapolis that came by way of our CPA auditor, and they reached out to both Noble County and DeKalb County. And I go, kudos to you guys, kudos to DeKalb County, but DeKalb County had what you just went through on dollars and cents, had just a flat out better proposal from a tax abatement side. From a location side, being just down the street is attractive because a lot of our employees live around the area. We recruit, we retain folks, whether it's Garrett High School, DeKalb High School. Those are pretty big, I guess, breeding grounds for job applicants for us. And so we wanted to stay in that area. And at the end of the day, it was kind of funny. This became the dark horse for us. I thought I was heading towards a site in Avila. And I actually had the civil engineer do 3 different kind of site studies, and this was not one of the 3 site studies. So going back to late last year, this wasn't even in consideration. And then, being somewhat close by to where we are, and I don't know the Griffiths at all. I've never met him before. But Donna was in the office today. She's awesome. She's been great to me. It's been good to get to know her. And it was just kind of a no-brainer between what DeKalb put on the table, being close, which allows us to, help our employees and kind of feed in from the schools and people nearby. So, and then Chris and Drainage Board, we had kind of pre-meetings on expectations. Hey, what do you need from us? Let's talk about zoning. Are there rezoning requirements? So that was also helpful to us. So we're not kind of spinning our wheels, guessing, putting stuff forward, saying, hey, is this what you need? Does this work? So honestly, it's been a very, very good process from the planning side. I will be glad when it's done so I can focus on the work and get these guys released on construction so we can be in by next August. So, I'm trying to do it right. I know you all don't have the exterior elevations. We have renderings up here. We're trying to make it right. If I'm gonna commit myself into this and pull money out of my pocket, I want to do it. I want to do it right. I don't want to put something that doesn't look nice up. So we have brick and stone exteriors on the office portion. Landscaping, mounting, seating. Fairly decent amount of asphalt, which I get a pretty good deal on that. So making some of that asphalt. But anyhow, and there's options for expansion too. In the future, the building is set up structurally where you could expand towards the west or toward the south. So whether it's myself in 10 years, my son or daughter in 20 years, or one of you all that wants to buy me in 10 or 20 years and expand, but it should lend itself to another business, I guess is what I'm saying, with how I'm building it. So yeah, with that and your consideration, we'd ask for your blessing so Chris can get on vacation and we can start building. Any questions for us or renderings, or the guys smarter than me are behind me, so we have the architect and the civil engineer here too. So if anyone has questions on particulars, square footage, eave heights, materials, stuff like that, fire away. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You're good. Thank you. Now, I had met Aaron called me or actually it was Ken, I think, and said, we need to meet with you about a potential business. And whenever you get those, you're like, oh, what are they going to want? What are they going to want me to try to get the plan commission to do? But luckily, the site has been available for 20-some years when the Leato Business Park was created. It's been zoned correctly for 20-some years. If anything, I think this is the best use for the site. It makes sense. It's a permitted use, which is good. So, you know, from my opinion, and working with Aaron and Ken and the whole staff at Engineering Resources, it was a pretty easy, knock on wood, process. So.
Any more discussion amongst the board? Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak in favor of or against this petition? Seeing none, we'll close the public input portion and go to Andrew for our findings.
All right. These are jurisdictional findings. Application completed and filed on June 10th.
Yes.
Legal notice published in the Star on July 5th, and affidavit given to staff.
Yes.
Certificate of mailing notices sent and receipts given to staff.
Yes.
Letter from the County Board of Health dated June 21st.
Yes.
Letter from the County Highway dated June 12th.
Yes.
Letter from the DeKalb County Soil and Water Conservation District dated June 12th.
Yes.
Letter from the Drainage Board dated June 27th.
Yes.
Letter from the Leato Regional Sewer District dated June 18th.
Yes.
An airport board report if applicable, and it's not applicable here. The real estate being developed is in zoning district C2, neighborhood commercial, which permits the requested development. Now, we have 3 proposed findings to go through, and any of you can discuss any of them at any time. We'll want to make sure that we have findings in support of whichever way you want to vote on this, of course. So number 1, does the development plan meet the minimum design standards as listed in section 9.08 in the development plan?
Yes, all minimum design standards are met. See staff report and letters from the DeKalb County Highway Department, Health Department, Soil Water Conservation District, Drainage Board, and Leato Regional Sewer District.
Number 2, is the development plan consistent with the comprehensive plan?
Yes, the commercial development is encouraged in areas zoned for such. This property was platted for commercial development and remained vacant for at least 20 years.
And number 3, does the development plan comply with the standards of this Unified Development Ordinance?
Yes, all development standards of the Unified Development Ordinance are in compliance with the development plan. See the staff report and letters from the DeKalb County Highway Department, Health Department, Soil, Water Conservation District, and Drainage Board.
So we have staff is recommending approval of the development plan. It recommends the following conditions of approval. Number 1, the Plan Commission retains continuing jurisdiction of this development plan to assure compliance with all terms and conditions and/or impose additional conditions deemed necessary for health and safety. Number 2, this development plan is approved for a construction trade office, including new headquarters office, maintenance building, and fenced-in laydown storage yard in the Leato Business Park. Number 3, development to commence within 3 years and be completed within 7 years. See UDO section 9.08H. And number 4, no certificate of compliance or certificate of completion shall be issued until the applicant files written evidence of compliance with any conditions of the DeKalb County Board of Health, Highway Department, Drainage Board, Surveyor, Airport, Soil and Water Conservation District, or other agency is applicable. And further, where applicable, file written evidence of compliance with federal or state agencies where identified in the findings or conditions. The zoning administrator to determine when conditions have been met.
If there's no further discussion amongst the board, I would entertain a motion for approval or denial of petition 24-20 for this development plan.
I'll make a motion to approve 24-20.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for approval of the development plan. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Angie Holt,
Yes?
Frank Pulver,
Yes.
Bill Van Wy,
Yes.
Tyler Lanning,
Yes.
Sandy Harrison,
Yes.
Suzanne Davis.
Yes.
Bill Hartman,
Yes.
Jason Carnahan.
Yes.
Good to go, guys. Congratulations. Yeah. Excited to have you.
I will have any reports from our committees and town city liaisons.
There were no meetings last month.
Easy.
Auburn had a meeting.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We approved, they approved, since I keep my mouth shut, they approved the plan for Phase 1 of Memorial Park to start that, by 15th Street in Auburn. And so they got approval to start working on that.
No reports from Waterloo, no meeting.
Was easy. Are there any comments from any public in attendance on anything this evening? Seeing nothing, I don't think we have anything else. So we will adjourn.